Hey, what's up? Glad to have you. So this is a really cool video. Oh, I like how it panned over like that and you can see them in a dog crate. The other thing too with the thumbnail, you probably saw my hair was like gray. Yeah, this would all be silver if I didn't dye it or color it. So there's that. If you correct me dyeing or coloring, you can put it in the comments below. Anyways, what we've got here, a video about your customer lifecycle. Now, this is directed to people that have a business or are employed in a business where you've got different apps that you're using. You've got spreadsheets, you've got HubSpot, you might have MailChimp, you might have Salesforce or whatever. You're using all these different apps. You've got some pain with double entry and that kind of thing. I want to share with you a product where it brings together all of the customer lifecycle touch points. And so that's what we're going to talk about today in the following presentation. So I just want to do a little intro here. We've helped hundreds of companies across the country and around the world implement this system for their business. So I love this, how it's moving. Anyways, super powerful. Walk through it. At the end of it, I want to say full disclosure, the Edkins Group, I'm the owner of it. We're partners with this company. So at the end of it, there's a call to action. If you want to start a free 30-day trial, you're welcome to. If you already have it, then great. Who knows, we may be able to work together. Or if you're starting out with it too, we can help you with implementation. That's through the edkinsgroup.com. So without further ado, oh yeah, by the way, I'm David Edkins, the owner of the Edkins Group. Please hop on in. All right, let's do this. Hey, glad to have you. Again, I think you're getting a ton of value out of this. It is product-based, but it's going to talk about some of the stories and things in between about how to utilize different software or let's say apps for different segments of your customer lifecycle. So different touch points, as I mentioned in that intro. So let's go ahead and just jump right in. So let me get there. So customer lifecycle. What is your customer lifecycle? Now, most companies have a very similar customer lifecycle. One, they get a lead somehow. They convert that lead to a sale. They work that sale to a close, and they deliver whatever is that they sold or you sold. Then at some point, once it's been sold, you provide some version of support after delivery. Now, the funny thing is so many companies don't even do that piece of it at all. Some do, and that's great. I think you should. And then you promote to get more sales. And so most companies that we work with, we find that they really, they have a hodgepodge of different apps over that they've accumulated over the years just because of necessity. They needed to get something, so they plug something in. So first, before I get into that, who am I? David Edkins, founder of the Edkins Group. You already heard that in the intro. Started and sold a number of companies. We've helped hundreds of companies around the world and primarily in the U.S. Leverage cloud-based systems. So that was Salesforce and Zoho primarily. So those are the two. 30 years management experience, management consulting experience, let's say that as opposed to management experience, but it's helping companies improve their profitability, their results, and ultimately their value. So a lot of what we're doing now as the Edkins Group is we are looking for companies that we can partner with to help them structure themselves in a way, digitize themselves, modernize themselves, and make sure they can systematize, another keyword, look at that, I threw out all those buzzwords, systematize themselves so that way it's less about the owner and more about the process of the company itself that it can live on. And that makes it become worth more by doing that. So companies that are just a mess, they're just, hodgepodge, cobbled together a bunch of stuff, don't have good numbers, don't have good metrics, it's hard to sell those companies. So we're really looking to help companies partner with them and help improve their results and their saleability, let's say. Let's move on. Okay. So if you look at the customer lifecycle, and here you see along the top the headers, lead, present, deal, quote, get paid, deliver, and support. Leads, obviously, that's getting your leads in. Presenting, that's presenting some kind of, presentation, right? That turns into a deal. Now, deals can be called different things. It could be a transaction. It could be a potential. It could be an opportunity. There's different words for that. Then in that process of getting the deal is you have some kind of probably quoting, estimates, proposals that you would do. You close the deal, you need to get paid in some way, then you need to deliver what it is that you sold, and then ultimately at the end of it is support. So if you look at this page, you could probably identify some of the different software that you're using. And we've come across, almost every company we've come across has at least 5 to 10 different products they're using. They're paying monthly for each one of these. And there's a saying of you can die by 1,000 cuts. And that's what a lot of the companies kind of do, is they just have so many, little things here and there. And as a company gets older, there was an article I read, I wish I had it for this presentation, but it talked about how companies were having to go into all these different subscriptions that they had, because it was like weighing on their expense reports, all these expenses for all these little things that their employees would go buy as a subscription just to fill a hole. And so it's funny, you're not alone if you're in this boat, because you have to fill these gaps along that customer lifecycle. There's not really anything that covers all of those things except for what I'm going to show next. This is a product we've been partners with them for over 10 years at this point, but for a while back, let's say over 17 years ago or so, we were a Salesforce implementation partner, and there's also Zoho. That's the company we're going to talk about in the set of apps. And it was funny because the joke was, if you couldn't afford Salesforce, then go to Zoho, and then once you grow up a little bit, we'll move you over to Salesforce. Well, the things have completely changed. The landscape has changed. Salesforce went public. They just started acquiring companies for functionality, which then just increased their price. So it's ridiculous at this point, and there's not much gain in having that increased price. But, they're the 800-pound gorilla out there. So if you have Salesforce, quote unquote, then you're amazing. That's not really the case. It just means you're paying too much for the product, and you're obviously paying probably about $50,000 a year, if not more, for consultants to try to tweak it, right? So if you look at this page, you can see all of these products that are referenced here are actually under the Zoho umbrella. They have over 55 different products, so I'm not going to bore you with all of them, but these are the ones that we see most used. So what we're going to do in this presentation is they're actually going to go into each one of these. So you can go, what the hell is it? What is PageSense? What is SalesIQ? What is Forms? I mean, Forms kind of makes sense. But what are these different things, and how could I utilize them? So if you look at what popped up on the bottom there, it shows that you could have all of these plus more at only $45 a month if you're paying monthly per user that's using it, or $444 a year if you're paying annually. Now, the cool thing about this too, I'm going to compare and contrast Salesforce and Zoho. Salesforce, they'll lock you in for a year at least, if not 3 years contract. And let's say you had 5 users. They'll lock you in for a contract for 5 users. Now, if you let go of one of those people, or you just, for whatever reason they decide to leave, you have 4 licenses. Well, you can't say, hey, can I go back and just do 4 licenses? Nope, you're stuck with 5. Now, what happens if you gain 2 employees? You're now 7. Well, Salesforce will say, hey, you need to re-up. We're going to redo your contract for another 3 years for 7 at this point. Now, if you slip back 3, again, you can't. You still got to pay for them. Difference with Zoho is it's very prorated. So if you add, you have 5 and you add 1, great. You just pay for the 1. If you slip back, they'll prorate you. And so you can activate or deactivate people, and there's no contract. It's just month to month, really, if you can believe that. And if you look at every single one of these products that I'm going to go through here, again, for one low rate, you're not having to pay across different products. You have all of these things, and you're going to be amazed at all the different products. So I don't mean to oversell this, but it's funny because I will work with people, get introduced to companies that already have Zoho, and I start showing some of these things. They're like, I didn't even know it had this. I didn't know it could do this. This is amazing. And when I look at, hey, let's help you go across your entire customer lifecycle from left to right, and then put some, business intelligence underneath it, some KPIs, key performance indicators. Bubble should have popped up there about another video we did on that. But let's walk through each one of these, and I'll share the importance or what the functionality is briefly. We're not going to spend too much time on each one of them, but just to give you a taste of what these different elements are. And again, remind you, all of these things I go through are all included. It's not like you have to add on any more dollars. It's not $45 plus if you want SalesIQ, it's another $5. No. If you want all of these that you see in front of you, they're all included. So let's get moving. Okay, first one is Zoho PageSense. So Zoho PageSense is a web optimization product. The coolest thing, I love this one part, the second bullet there, the session recording. So I'll tell you, a few years ago, we really didn't do a lot of Google Ads advertising, but I tried it. I turned it on, and I'll tell you, Google loves taking money from people. So I let them take my money for 2 weeks. I turned on this Zoho PageSense, and I monitored what everybody was doing with the website. Using this screen recording, I could actually see how people were interacting with the website. I could see through, as you can see, there is the example of the heat map. I could see what people are clicking on, and then I would change it, and I'd see, oh, they do this, and then I could drive them to this page where they'd actually, start a trial, or they'd book time or something like that. Then I would, so that was fantastic. And what it did, it reduced highly the price per acquisition. dramatically just by doing some tweaks. So PageSense is that tool that you could use. Now, if you're small, you're a solopreneur, you don't have time for this. You may not, but I do recommend at least set it up. And it's as simple as adding a little bit of a script to your website header. And from then on, and turn on a session recording. So that way you could just have history and you can always go back and look at it. No harm, no foul. Just set it up, let it run. And then once you get to a certain point, you could always look back at historically what has happened on the website. Let's move on to the next one. So the next one is, let me go page down. Nope. There we go. SalesIQ. So SalesIQ, what this is website tracking. So different than the other one, which is A/B testing and screen recording and heat maps, is this one actually tracks when people go onto your site, how long they've been there, what pages they've been to. And so it does that. It has a chat functionality, so you can chat live with people that are visiting your site. You can implement chatbots and even AI chatbots. So you can have people interact in an intelligent way with a chatbot to either go towards a sale or go towards support and open a support ticket. You can actually have them, you can guide the AI chatbot can guide them to a product sale and go through that process. So it's really cool. You can also do lead scoring. So as people are interacting with the website, you can score them and that gets integrated with the CRM. So you can see that. Next, Zoho Forms. So Zoho Forms is just as it seems. It's a very simple form builder. But what we do is we embed it into a website. And here's what we do. There's another video, which a bubble should pop up, that we did, which says you can create a form, let's say on your website, to capture a lead that's integrated with the CRM. So it injects a lead into your CRM. And then it redirects them to a booking page. And we'll go on bookings as another one that we'll see in a few slides here. But what that does is it captures the lead. That way, if they never go to book time with you, which you wouldn't know unless they did book time, if they just went to a booking page and they just stopped, this interim piece of doing a Zoho form to capture that then captures the lead. So you can say, all right, well, I can market to them if they never book time. Or you can personally write them an email, say, oh, what happened? Was it because I wasn't available at certain times? And you can engage them. So at least you have a lead that gets recorded into your CRM. The other thing you can do too is we've seen it being used. There's all kinds of different ways you can use these forms. Other ways would be onboarding. So you have a new client, you need to onboard them. You can collect data and have that data gets collected, tie back to that record that's in the CRM. So it's really cool, and also clearly for questionnaires as well. So kind of onboarding and questionnaires would be a very similar thing. I mean, as the Edkins Group, we've done this. So we onboard a customer is from our CRM. We'll shoot them. I mean, it's an automated thing we do, but we shoot them an onboarding document, which they fill out that onboarding document, and that when they save it, it goes back into the Zoho CRM and fills in the appropriate fields. So it's all data collection. You don't have to rekey it because it's in a spreadsheet and put it back in the data. It just does it automatically. Okay, let's go to the next one. What do we got? Come on. I'm getting excited about this. WorkDrive. So Zoho WorkDrive is a file management, file sharing. It's like a box.com or a Dropbox, if you're familiar with those, or Google Drive. Very similar. It's just Zoho WorkDrive. And this, again, is integrated with the CRM. But there's a little asterisk on that, is it's not totally integrated with CRM, but what we did is we created a widget that allows you to incorporate it with any module that's in the CRM. And there's a little bubble that'll probably pop up that you can go to that video if you wanted to. So it's all kinds of things, team sharing, permissions. You can actually, have it for internal use and have permissions set on it, or you can share files externally, which, I mean, that's not a big deal anymore, but it's included. So again, of all these things, it's included. What's next? Okay, so I think we went through, we didn't do analytics. Here we go. So if you look at what we just went, okay, so we did PageSense, we did SalesIQ, Forms. Did we skip campaigns and CRM? Let me go back up. There we go. Okay, I skipped 2. Forgive me. For those that are really analytical and saw that first picture and even printed it, screenshotted it or something like that, you're probably going, hey, you skipped these 2. Okay, Zoho Campaigns. Email marketing, think of like MailChimp or Constant Contact, that type of thing, is email marketing. You can create automated journeys, as you can see in the picture there. Segmented list, action-based messaging. So as they take certain actions, if you look at that journey flow, as you can say, oh, if they do this, then maybe put them on that list. It can get pretty complex, but if you keep it simple initially, that's what we recommend. Always KISS principle, keep it simple. And then again, this is integrated with the CRM. So as data happens in the CRM, you can synchronize it with campaigns as well. I don't know why it does that. It's weird. It's skipping. Okay, Zoho CRM. Just as you can imagine, this is like the hub of everything. So CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. That is where really all the information comes together. So what you're doing here is typically where the money is. You've got leads that get collected. You're trying to work those leads, qualify those leads, and then nurture those leads, whatever. And then that converts into a deal. And then that deal is what you're trying to work to close. And then you can go on to actually delivering what it is that you sold in the CRM as well. You can just shift the way the layout looks and make it so it's project management. So now you're going through stages, checklists, those types of things within the CRM. So it's really functional and highly customizable. And it says there, workflows, analytics within it, and it's multi-channel. So you can plug in almost everything that you have, other Zoho products, and plug it into it. Finance for what invoices there are, estimates there are, WorkDrive, like I mentioned, SalesIQ gets plugged into it. So you can see who's on the website currently that's tied into the CRM. You can see all these things within the CRM. So it's a huge tool, and everybody has that. I mean, that's kind of what you start with, and then you work like ripples in a pond. You go out from there. But what I'm going to show you is you can connect all of these from the beginning. All right, what's next? WorkDrive, we just shared that. Analytics, we didn't cover this one either. So Zoho Analytics is a full business intelligence app, software, let's say. It's not only for Zoho products, it is also, you can extend it out to SQL databases and other databases. You can tie them in Azure. I mean, I wouldn't say it's endless, but it's almost like a Tableau, but Tableau kind of has a little head start on them, but they keep adding more and more features to analytics. So as you can see on the screen there, you can take almost data point that you have and combine it into a dashboard, and then just embed this dashboard in your Zoho CRM as what's called a web tab. So it can be one of your tabs within CRM and have these analytics in there. You can also share these externally. So you can have somebody that has a link to a web, a dashboard that's for them. Case in point, what we did is we had a medical billing company that they had, one of their pain points was having reports that they had to produce every single week. And they would, manually produce these. They'd have spreadsheets, and they'd convert the spreadsheets into something that looked nice. And so what we did is we said, let's just dump in that data every day or every week or whatever into what's called a Zoho Creator app. And then from that Creator app, it feeds into an analytics page like you see on the screen here. And that analytics screen was shared just to their clients. So their clients had a customer portal they'd log into and see an analytics page. They could see their reports anytime they wanted. And the synchronization was like 3 hours. So it was only a 3-hour delay. It wasn't like they had to wait every week, but they could now save their employees from our client from having to receive all these requests for new reports. Is the client now can just do that themselves. So analytics is a great tool. It's fantastic. So let's go back to this. So we've got leads. Now we're going to go over to presenting. Let's look at presenting. So again, I'm going to reiterate, $45 a month per user. You get all these. What I just showed you and all those in the leads column, that's included. Zoho Bookings. This is like Acuity scheduling if you use that, or Calendly. Basically the same thing. You have the ability to tie in your calendars and synchronize that so people can't double book you. And it's a very clean look that you can customize for your website to be able to book time on your schedule. So this is a complete time saver. And again, there's a little bubble that'll pop up about, get more information, other videos. But you can read through the options here, team scheduling, resource scheduling. It integrates with Zoho Meeting, so like a Zoom product, and then also integrated with the CRM. So whatever meetings you book here shows up as an appointment or quote meeting within the CRM for that particular record, that book time. Hugely powerful. Zoho Show, that's actually presentation, like Google has one. What is it called? What is Google's called? I can't remember now, but it's a online presentation creator, and that's what this presentation was created on, is Zoho Show. Not much to say here. I mean, it's been around forever. These types of things have been around forever now. The funny thing I will add though is Google has their suite of Google Docs, which is Writer or I can't remember what they're, just Google Docs. The 3 different things they have: the word processing, the show, their presentation builder, and their word processor and sheets. Those were actually a company they bought, Google bought, Whereas Zoho products, these ones, including Zoho Show, were made before Google had theirs. So it's kind of funny little trivia there. Zoho Meetings. So Zoho Meetings is just like a Zoom. As you can see, you have the same kind of functionality. So again, when you book time through Zoho Bookings, you have the ability to not only integrate it with Zoho Meetings, but you could with Zoom and GoToMeeting as well. But Zoho Meetings is super seamless, and you can see it has the same functionality. That's what we use as the Edkins group on every call. We record all those calls, and yeah, Zoho Meetings. I mean, most people nowadays, when you hear Zoom, it's basically that. Next, Zoho Webinar. So Zoho Meetings also has a functionality called Zoho Webinar. So if you do webinars, you have the ability to use this. Now again, all these products are included. So it's not like you have to go to GoToWebinar and pay for that separately. It's included. So you just fire up a webinar and invite people to it and register to it. So if you do webinars, great. And it's integrated with the CRM also. So we went through the present piece of it. Bookings, that's how you book time. Show, that's creating a little presentation. Meetings, that's like the Zoom piece of it. Webinar, we just covered that too, so doing webinars. And then WorkDrive, we had already covered that, so we didn't go do it again because there's no point in showing you again. So on the deal side of it, we already did CRM, we already did WorkDrive, so that's not going to show up, but Notebook shows up. And again, all for $45 a month. So Zoho Notebook is like an Evernote or OneNote that Microsoft has. So again, included Zoho Notebook. Online note-taking integrated with meeting. So when you have a Zoho meeting, this is what I do every day and my team does, is when we have a Zoho meeting, is we fire up notes. When we do those notes, it actually creates a new note in the notebook within the client notes section. So I use that tool every day. I do journaling in it. Again, all client records, just jotting notes about different clients. We'll use Zoho Notebook. You have the ability to pull in files. You can there's web tabs that you can do where if you find a website that you like, you just quickly say, I'm going to add that to Notebook and then sort it what folder you want to put it in. It's really, really powerful tool too. Next, Zoho Flow. So if you've heard of the product called Zapier or Zapier, depends on who you talk to. So what that does, it's a connector of different services. So different apps and services. So Zoho has their own. It's called Zoho Flow. Not only can you have it where it's included with all the Zoho products, but they've extended it out kind of like Zapier, where you have all these other products that you can do and say, if something happens here, do this. So you can see on the screen right now, new form entry, create a lead in the CRM. Is it a demo request? Okay, it is. Then create a ticket and notify pre-sales team. So you've got these conditions and things that you can go through to see, to make decisions. And I mean, we do crazy stuff with this flow. You can do crazy workflows and functions and deluge and scripting and a lot of programming and things you can do with it, or just keep it simple. Like this one is pretty simple and it's pretty drag and drop and easy to put together. So you have that, again, included. All right, so we worked through which one? The deal one, because we had already covered CRM, WorkDrive, and Analytics, so we just went over Notebook and Flow. In the quote area, we've already done CRM, so we're not going to worry about that, but we'll go into the next ones. Again, all for $45. So we should see Writer. So Zoho Writer is kind of like a Google Docs. It's the word processor, the online word processor. The cool thing about this is it's not just about the word processing. It's about how it's integrated with the CRM. So there's been people in the Zoho Forms are like, can we do really stunning proposals instead of just having an estimate that has line items with dollar amounts and that kind of thing? Can we make it so it's stunning? So that's where you use Writer. So Writer's kind of plugged in with Zoho CRM. And so what you do is you create, like you see on the screen here, a pretty proposal, and then you can inject and integrate fields and information from the CRM, let's say the CRM deal, into this document. And let's say you have different types of deals that you sell. So what you can also do is something called conditional formatting in that Writer document. So let's say if it's this type of deal, show this section of conditions and terms and conditions. If it's this type of deal, maybe don't show that section. Or if it's this type of deal, show this section of pictures and write up about what we're selling them. Then you could have your chunk of information, which are the details of what's being sold to them and the dollar amounts. And then you can have your terms and conditions. So you can do what's called conditional based on what that deal looks like, is you can include certain sections of that document. Then I didn't even mention it, which actually I don't even think on my list here I had sign. I should. I can't believe I didn't do that. darn. Okay. So then you could have this where it merges it all together and then shoots it off for a signature. But that's what Zoho Writer is. It's an online word processor. Zoho Books, this is where the money is, right? So QuickBooks is like the big 800-pound gorilla out there. Everybody has it. Well, Zoho Books, people are moving to Zoho Books at this point. As you can see, it's a little easier on the eyes by looking at the graphics that you see on the screen here. It's a full-fledged accounting software. It's integrated with the CRM, so it's actually embedded in the CRM. So you can actually create the estimates, invoices, and all that from within records within the CRM, which makes that super easy. You can also see those invoices and records within the CRM, so you don't have to go to this other place called Zoho Books. There's customer portals, there's vendor portals, and it's integrated with payment processors like Stripe. There's other ones too, but just, everybody knows Stripe. Zoho Inventory. So Zoho Inventory is like Books. So Books and Inventory are basically the same. The difference being inventory tracks inventory. So you can have multi-warehouse, you have the ability to have inventory counts, low counts, you can serialize, you can do batch management, you can do your packing and your shipping, and the connection with shipment offerings, UPS, USPS, and other DHL, and tie that together so you can print your labels and put them on the package and ship it out the door all through Zoho Inventory. Okay, subscriptions and billing. So it used to be called subscriptions, now it's called billing, and billing actually includes some other functionality. But Zoho Subscriptions, just like it says, is you can create online subscriptions. It's fully customizable. You can have products and then add-ons to those products. You can say, what's your frequency? How much is it? And then you can see that you can install website widgets. So what you see on the screen here is an example of that. So you can create these widgets, you click Get Started, that basically put in information, and now you've got a subscription that happens every month. So again, powerful tool. Again, included in your $45 a month subscription to Zoho One. Zoho Checkout, not widely used, but it is used. And so as you can see here, it's a very simple checkout page. You could do it where it's recurring, and you could do it where it's standalone. There are times when we've done some customization to this page where someone can like build a custom thing that they're buying, and then it packages it all together and creates this page. So it's a very simplified checkout. It's not like you have line items and stuff. You just click that and you pay for it. And then on the back end, it's going to connect to Zoho CRM and show there's an order and go from there. Customizable, same, very similar to subscriptions and billing as the previous slide. On to the next one. Okay, so we did Get Paid, which is books, inventory, subscriptions, and checkout. We did all that. Now let's talk about delivering it. Okay, so we did CRM already, we did forms already, so we're not going to talk about those. We did inventory already because we talked about shipping and stuff. That's kind of part of that delivery. WorkDrive won't cover that. Connect and Cliq will cover that in analytics. So the point of delivering here, it's interesting. So this is where you may have a specialized system really for the delivery piece of it. So if you think of like, if you're a law firm, let's say, or you're an insurance broker, you could do a lot of this stuff in Zoho up to a certain point, but then you have, some place like case management for attorneys where it may be in its own system. You could do it in Zoho, you certainly can, but sometimes you just have this highly specialized thing to deliver what it is that you sold. And so sometimes we'll just say, yeah, leave that in place, but you could use Zoho to deliver it. If you're a service company, if you have a product, like again, an inventory, you could pack it and ship it, and you keep track of your inventory with warehousing, that kind of thing. You certainly can deliver it. CRM can be used for service companies as well, just tracking what are we doing and delivering our service that we're offering. So there's different things that, obviously different products you can use, and that's really dependent on your business and how you do it. So again, if you need some advisory from us to help you out, kind of how you could use, what tools you could use based on your need, feel free to reach out to us at edkinsgroup.com. Let's go ahead and continue. Again, all for $45 a month. Nothing here is an add-on. It's all included. Let's go projects. Okay, the Zoho Projects is more like the waterfall methodology, which means you have like Gantt charts like you see in that graphic. You can have milestones. You could have task lists, tasks, subtasks. You do timekeeping for it. You can do budgets with it. You can do resource utilization. It's a very comprehensive app, and how deep you want to go. As you can see, it has timesheets, integrated with books, integrated with CRM, and integrated with sprints. Sprints we're going to cover next. That is, well, you'll see next. Sprints. Again, another comprehensive app. If you look at the image there compared to the last image, this one is based on the agile methodology. So that is where you have stand-up meetings, you have groups of what are called epics, and you have note cards that say this is the things we're going to do. It was based on, I think, assembly line, where they had note cards of what they're going to do, and it moved down the assembly line, and so it moved like a Kanban like this, where it's on a board, and you say it's going from this status to this status, or this stage to this stage. That's how the sprints work. It's also integrated with Books. You have timesheet functionality. It's integrated with the CRM and integrated with Projects. Again, included. Zoho Connect. This is like an intranet, but it's also an extranet. So you could have it where you have internal information for your team. Again, it may just be you, so there's no point in going here yet, but as you have a team, maybe it would make sense. Where you can have, if you use Trello, you see the third bullet down, boards and tasks. That is, that's like Trello. And so you can see down at the bottom, that graphic that's moving there, it's kind of like, you drag your cards over, and it's very simple, but yeah, you can open it up and it gives more details. So if you click on one of them, let's see what it shows. You can assign it to people. You have a lot of details you can put in there, just checklists and all that stuff. So Connect is a great product. It's more of an intranet. You have manuals and things that are in there, like a company board where you can put posts on there and people can interact with it. It's pretty cool, but typically it's not until you're growing as an organization and get bigger, obviously, than yourself, or even like 20 people maybe. Zoho Cliq. So if you've you've heard of Slack or Discord, similar to that. So you've got messaging that takes place. You have channels that you can join people together. You can do it internally. You can add people externally into chats. That's what we do with our monthly clients. As the Edkins group, we have a Cliq channel specific to that client, so that way they can get quick answers and support to questions they have much faster than they can get with Zoho, because we just respond right there. And you can add files. You can do video chats. You can do audio. It's pretty impressive what Cliq can do. And if you're familiar again with Slack and Discord, it's very similar to that. Little nuances different, but again, this is included. You don't have to pay extra for it. All right, what do we got? We did all the delivery stuff. We'll say this $45 again a month. And we're going to the next one, Zoho Desk. So it's like Zendesk. God, what are the other ones that were there? Zendesk and Freshdesk, I think. So it's a ticketing system. So this, again, is a full-fledged ticketing system. You can go crazy with it. It's what's called multi-channel, which means you can get tickets created from different sources. Like I mentioned with SalesIQ, the chatbot, you could have someone go through a series of questions, and that chatbot can either direct them to a knowledge base that's in Zoho Desk to get their answer and actually point them right to that article that would give their answer. Or it might say, okay, well, this is outside of what they can do self-serve. Maybe we'll open a ticket. So they can open a ticket directly into Desk. There's also a social functionality. So your social brands, people can open a ticket through that. It'll end up in their desk. So Zoho Desk is a full-fledged ticketing system. Again, knowledge base, customer portal, so people can log into it and see what the status of their tickets are. So you could use this for almost any business, and even including like real estate. You've property management. You've got properties. You can have them directed to Desk to create a ticket for themselves. That way they can know what's happening. Like we have a pool service that comes to our house. Let's say the vacuum's not working, is I could quickly go in and say, hey, add a ticket because my vacuum's not working. And that service company could get that ticket in and say, okay, what are we going to do with it? Let's send out a field rep or something to check it out. And then they can manage that whole process, so I can check in with that portal and see what the progress is. Or do I need to escalate it? Because nothing's happened with it. And I can interact with people. So again, this is integrated with the CRM as well. Like I mentioned, in a CRM record, you have all these components that come in, like finance, invoicing, estimates. Desk is one of those. It would show up that you can see all the tickets for that person that have come through. It's incredible. Again, this is included in that $45 a month. Survey. So Survey is like Forms, but it goes a step further. It does, you've probably heard of Net Promoter Scoring. That is, it's a mechanism you can see on the screen there to put on your website, say, hey, here's how people accept us and love us and all that stuff. You could put that, so it gathers that information. It's a survey. There's not much more I can say about that. It's pretty clear. All right, so the next slide here, and I can't believe I forgot Sign. So I'm probably going to have to redo this, but I might wait a month to do it. is that I missed out. There's something called Zoho Sign, which is like DocuSign. I can't believe I forgot it. Honestly, I can't believe that. And so that would probably be in deal quote area, right? Is that they sign a document. There's also contracts too. So if you have contract management, meaning you go back and forth with contracts sometimes and redlining and getting versions of that contract, that's something else, again, included. You don't have to pay extra for it. So I probably will do this at like a V2 in a month or so. For the time being, I'll verbally say I effed up and forgot to mention Zoho Sign, but that's another critical component that people use. That is what everybody uses. So I put this up on the screen because what we did is I narrowed down what we typically see when you're starting out. I mentioned PageSense and SalesIQ. PageSense, again, I wouldn't really do anything with it, and I forgot to put it in here, but I would just install it and let it run in the background. SalesIQ, again, I do the same thing. Just put the script in the header and let the just let it run in the background, and then it can tie into CRM, so you can kind of like see who's on the website. Based on your records in CRM. So that's pretty cool. Forms to collect lead information. I think that's important. Campaigns. That way, if somebody doesn't buy, then you can remarket to them. That's what the campaigns. I think that's important. WorkDrive. I think it's important, but how you're going to utilize it is totally up to you. Bookings. I would say yes. Have bookings starting out because that's scheduling time on your calendar, which saves you time if people can go do that. Show. That's up to you. If you create presentations, you can use Show. Right. I mean, that's an optional thing. Meeting, I would say Meeting, but I mean, if you already use Zoom, go to Meeting, Google Meets, just continue using those. But you have the option here. If you're paying for something else, why pay for it when you can include it here? Webinar, you may or may not do webinars. You could strike that one. But again, for the deal, CRM, WorkDrive, and Notebook. Notebook is kind of like you could take it or leave it potentially. We use it every day, but you don't need it. But again, the whole point here is that you just simplify. The quoting, you could use Writer, maybe not. Maybe just use Books and their built-in estimates. Easy enough. Then you don't really have to do any work to create that pretty proposal. And then inventory too. If you're a product-based company, then the inventory would be important for you as well. Getting paid, books, inventory, subscriptions, that kind of self-explanatory, I think. Delivering it, it's up to you what you want to use. Don't have to use Cliq, but if maybe you want to extend out some communication with your clients or your customers, then maybe use Cliq and you invite them to it and they can communicate with you. And I think Desk is important. I think that's good to start with. Just try to keep it simple, but at least have the option for your customers, your clients to be able to raise a ticket if there's something wrong with what they have or they have questions. I think that's a good idea. Here's an idea of the CPA attorney engineering. I'll let you just review this because I don't think I need to go through it again. But maybe there's a few additional things that you might want to have in this. You might want to have projects, maybe Connect for internal use, some SalesIQ for some question and answer, like a chat bot on the website. So if you look at this page, you can see maybe there's a little more that you'd want to do with that. Oh. And then scaling it down, e-commerce product-based company is, there's another product that Zoho has called Commerce. It's basically like a WooCommerce or a Shopify. They have it themselves. You can create it and ties in directly into inventory, books, CRM seamlessly. So I'd say, you could pare it down and go slim with this. A lot of companies that, and we've done this too, where you have WooCommerce and we just inject that into Zoho Inventory so they can do the shipments and labels and all that through Zoho. But if you want to include it and you're starting from scratch, you can certainly bring everything under one roof, even for an e-commerce or product-based company. So you've got services companies, product companies, e-commerce companies, they're all covered in this. Why all in one? Obviously, everything is connected, saving the headache. Data is in one place. There's no double entry. It just, everything seems, seamlessly goes from one product to another, like passing the baton, as I like to say. You save dollars, clearly, because if you add up all the little things, those little knife cuts, or razor cuts or whatever over the course of a month of all the little products that you're buying, it's probably in the hundreds of dollars and you don't even realize it. If you could scale that back and go into one product that has all these features that you could just unlock basically what you need to have and then put them all together. And then lastly is uniform, consistent design. So it's easy to learn. It's more or less all going to function and look the same. There are some variations between them because they are separate products, but they all tie together and you can easily pull them all together. So lastly, the next steps, like I mentioned in the introduction. If you don't have Zoho ONE, start a free 30-day trial. The link is in the description below, and you can go there, start the free trial. As a partner, we can actually bump that if you need to. and we can work with you in the next month or so to help you get on your feet, figure out how to put this stuff together. But you really don't need us. I mean, you can subscribe to Zoho Academy YouTube channel to learn about the different apps. We do different videos about the different apps and how you can put them together and connect them. So be sure to subscribe. Now would be great. Just click the subscribe button. Become a member of Zoho Academy. So Zoho Academy is outside YouTube. It's zohoacademy.com. We're still developing it, but we're adding courses in there that could be helpful as well. And membership, the membership provides some other features and benefits as well. It's like a VIP thing. Let us know the type of company you have. Put it in the comments below. That'd be great to see who you are and what kind of company you have. That'd be awesome. And then also about my hair, right? If it's dyed or colored, what's the right way to say it? Certainly like this video if it was helpful for you. If you made it this far, it's fantastic. Appreciate it. And then lastly, if you like you already have Zoho, and if you went through this whole thing and you already have Zoho, then there must have been some valuable tips in here or ideas about these different products that were included in this video. And if you are great, edkinsgroup.com, we recommend being part of our monthly advisory. It's very inexpensive, but it gives you a direct connect to us and our experience, what we've been doing over the years, and help you shortcut things, help you learn this faster. If you're brand new to Zoho, like you don't have it and you're going to go out and start a free trial, when you do that, you're going to get an email with some options of what you can do, including the monthly advisory if you like. You could probably, I think you do, we have an option where you can do a free introductory call. We learn more about your business and say, based on that video, here's the things I think to start with. So I think that'd be helpful for you. I think that's it. Do I have another slide? Nope. That's it. Well, again, I hope this was helpful for you. Call to action is start a free trial. If you don't have Zoho right now, I really highly recommend that so you can get a flavor for what it can do. Refer back to this video of the different tools that are available to you and how you might be able to put those together. If you'd like to, certainly reach out to us, edkinsgroup.com. I have the link in the description below as well, and a link to Zoho Academy. And please add comments, like, subscribe. Love to help you out. Have a great day.